Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and Steve is back. And I was looking at the channel, and I think it was about a year ago that you bought the PRS Silver Skies round when they were new. So we are back with more PRSs, but specifically the DGT SE, which you have recently acquired.
Yes.
So just before we start, I just want to say that at the Birmingham Guitar Show, I did try one of these at the show, right next to the McCarthy, I can never pronounce that right, the new SE version of that. But that's the only kind of experience I've had. So this will be the first time in familiar ground that I can really kind of get to know it and play it. So, I mean, over to you then. What sort of brought you to it?
So,
because obviously you had this one before, should
yeah.
I say. This is Steve's too.
So a few years ago, I sold a lot of guitars. Sold just because I moved house, so I needed some money. So I sold my Eric Clapton custom shop and cried about that for days, and a few others. So, but then after COVID, got into another band, and I thought, well, I need a guitar which does everything, and PRS does that. So coil splits for funk, it's got the humbuckers for lead. You know, it's a one guitar fits all. But I couldn't afford a custom 24 like I used to have. So I thought, okay, I found this one going on. I think it was PMT online. I think it was used, but it had a ding in it, and they were asking 1,600, which is still a lot of money, but it is a USA made CE.
Yeah.
Classic electric, bolt-on neck. And it's got an F-hole in it, but that was by the by. It just happened to have it. I didn't buy it because it had an F-hole in it. But it's nice and light.
It is light, to be fair. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's surprisingly light, but it's the weight you expect.
Yeah.
It kind of, sometimes you pick up a guitar and it shocks you how light it is.
Yeah,
it's super heavy. Yeah. This just, you pick it up and you go, okay.
Yeah,
that's comfortable.
So I bought that, done quite a few gigs with it since. Fantastic, stays in tune. You know, it's American made. It feels great. But when this came out, I just thought, my God, that is a good looking guitar.
Yeah.
And to have a gold top.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it like, is it like a Les Paul but without the weight? I don't know. With the playability, it's got the Les Paul sound.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of started off like it was sort of the McCarthy modified for him, when it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a McCarthy Les Paul hybrid, I guess. Is its genesis kind of thing.
So without all the issues of a Les Paul, dare I say it? So it's got a trem, obviously, which I like to use.
Is it the same trem as it's on the CE?
Yeah, so on the CE, even though you're paying bigger bucks for an American-made guitar, they still put the bridge of an S2 and a SE on there.
Yeah, so these two are exactly the same bridges.
They're the same bridges, but the saddles on here are a bit cheaper because you can see the difference. They're a bit more cast.
So if you're able to see that, maybe I'll try and zoom in.
Yeah.
I can, yeah.
These can polish up a bit, but these are very...
alloy
feel.
Yeah.
But they do the job, nothing wrong with them at all.
Yeah.
Stays in tune brilliantly. And it's got the same coil splits as that one, so I can use this as a backup, or to be honest, I'm going to gig this Friday with this. But the main difference was the chunky neck. This is what I was after.
I've been sat here chewing on that because it's the neck thing. Obviously, I've got this guitar in my hand, and like I've said on this channel, and I think me and you have spoken about it, you know, when we talk about PRSs. I ripped PRS off for a long time because of this wide, thin neck.
Yeah.
And it just never fit in my hand.
No.
And like you said, you can change yourself to it.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
But for me, it's like, you kind of want the neck to be working to you kind of thing.
This is substantial.
Very much so different.
And it gives you that, if you were blindfolded, you think, oh, that's a not classic 335 or something. And it's just beautiful neck on it.
Way more Gibson feeling.
Absolutely.
Than this.
So that was the one thing I really missed, is that wider neck. The pickups on here, so I did a lot of research, like a lot of reviews I read on this, and they were all really positive about the pickups, and I must say they are. I much prefer them to the 8515s which are on that.
Yeah.
So they are quite low output, PAFE, but they give you that tone that you want.
Yeah.
You know,
we've just been jamming a bit before now, and I did notice that they were both warmer and lower output than the standard pickups on these. What did you say they were again?
8515s.
8515s, yeah. So the difference in the two pickups alone, with the output and the warmth of those, combined with that neck carve, it takes you back to way more familiar territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, I mean the 8515 pickups, I think they were developed in 1985.
Yeah.
At a time where there was a lot of high gain, perhaps rock coming out. They're bright.
Yeah.
They're great pickups. They can do everything. They're funky as hell when you split them. Fantastic for playing fun.
That's a positive of a slightly hotter pickup, I guess, as well.
Yeah,
when you split it.
But to have a backup which I can use either of these guitars at a gig.
Yeah.
But this one has got that that vibe about it.
Yeah.
And so far so good. I mean, all the reviews I've seen, I'm guessing PRS sent them those guitars fully set up, because each one was perfect out of the box, and this one wasn't perfect out of the box.
Let's get on to that then.
So should we have a PRS moan?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk a bit more about spec, but this guitar's been out long enough. Everyone's done spec rundowns. Let's talk more about.
We can get on to
this.
that.
This is your guitar. You bought it.
Yeah, I bought it with my own money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do reviews, anything like that, until I come here.
Exactly. So.
And I've got enough knowledge. I think if there's some issues, I just sort them out myself. So anyway, so when
you're fussy enough to sort them out and notice them.
Yeah, I noticed them straight away. So
yeah, as you did.
When this came, there was 3 issues with the nut. 3, right? So the nut, in my opinion, is probably the most important part of an electric guitar, and it's the cheapest part of an electric guitar.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Right. So basically, there were 3 issues. The one issue is it wasn't cut down to the right height. So even playing an F chord was just a struggle. And after all the reviews, they were like, the nut is perfect, and it wasn't. It was awful. It was sharp as hell. So basically, you did that.
That surprises me. To be fair, the height I can kind of understand a bit.
Any edges off it. It was sharp. It was horrific.
That's strange.
And then the other thing, it was binding when I was using the trem. The slots were so narrow. So I had.
Do you think it had been restrung with, like at the dealer or anything, with thicker strings?
It felt like this had come straight from Indonesia. Do they send them back to America to go for a check? I'm not sure with these ones.
I guess
I can't see that. Yeah, I can't see that. When it came, it was detuned. The strings look brand new. I think it came straight from the factory.
And the thing is, these have been flying so hot right now that the chances of someone being able to get to it in amongst all the pre-orders.
Yeah. And I don't think it had been checked. The neck was needed a lot of adjustment.
Yeah.
So that was fair enough, no issues there. It was almost like they stuck the nut on and that was it. No one had actually cut it down or beveled it off.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing PRS are usually so hot on, is the nut. I mean, the CE, the nut was absolutely...
Yeah, I mean, your Silver Sky SEs from before
they were fantastic.
They were pretty good, weren't they?
And Silver Sky SEs, look how much they are, you know, but the nut was perfect. So anyway, I had a go at fettling it. It was getting to the point, like, I was doing so much work on it, it wasn't the same nut anymore. And I just thought, right, no, let's go. And I ordered a Graph Tech nut, Tusk nut, and it fit perfectly. I didn't have to alter anything apart from the height.
It's pretty stuck to me.
Yeah, I had to take a lot off. But the string spacing was spot on. I think these ones actually, they don't say it in the adverts, they're designed for PRS guitars. Because I had a Bernie Marsden once and the same nut, like for like, no issues at all. And of course now, you know, no binding, it stays in tune. It's perfect.
How it's meant to be.
So, no locking tuners on this.
Are they the same again? No, because of course these are locking, aren't they?
They're locking. But the tuners are excellent on here. They are really good quality tuners.
Yeah.
But I have ordered some like for like drop-ins of the lock-in version of these. They're the PRS SE locking tuners. They're 80 quid. It just makes life easier for if you get
I mean, on my Eastman just here, it's exactly what I did. These don't come with a Grover lockers. And
it makes everything a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But once these were bedded in, there's no issues with the trem at all. So if you don't use your trem, I wouldn't even bother changing them out. But for me, it's going to be a bit of a deal breaker. The neck is, although it's glossy, it's not sticky.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's lovely. So.
Trying to look at the darkness of the rosewood as well, because that's one thing PRS have been getting really, really good lately.
It's a nice slab of rosewood.
If I bring it like that to the camera a bit, and then they'll be able to see as well. So once again, to be fair, I mean,
I have oiled it because it was really dry. Obviously,
it was dry.
Hot country, a long way away.
That's the thing that certain things, especially when you buy so many guitars over years, you will forgive a truss rod that isn't right.
Absolutely.
You will forgive a board that's dry. You will forgive intonation that's out.
Yep.
But things like nuts and stuff, it is borderline then. What about the fret ends?
The fret ends weren't brilliant. And
no?
On a few reviews I'd read, and this is where guitars were sent to them from PRS, even they mentioned the nuts weren't great. Philip McKnight did a fantastic review of this, and he gets have you seen he gets a pair of tights?
Yeah,
he goes up and down. And the one end, this end, yes, they were snagging.
Yeah.
And they were. There was a few sharp fret ends. So what I'm going to do is take these strings off tomorrow and I'm going to roll this board a bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to roll the fret ends a bit more.
Just fettle it.
Just fettle it. But otherwise,
Yeah,
the frets were great. So we sorted the nut. £10 replacement, and it's like a new guitar, to be honest. And the only other issue, the output jack was a bit crackly, so I took it out. The pin needed bending in a little bit more, and it's fine now. So the day I got it, I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah, a bit flat kind of thing.
A bit flat.
Yeah.
But once I got that nut on, I was like really happy again.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so there's one more little thing that I kind of wanted to bring up before I kind of have a good go on this through my own amp and stuff, if you don't mind. So when we looked at the Silver Sky this time last year, we talked a lot about the pricing of the Silver Sky. And how you were pretty happy with the pricing of the Silver Sky.
Well, when I bought it new, I thought it was great, and now what?
This is what I was going to say. So in November they took around $250 off for like a Christmas thing. We're now in June. They're still $250 off. So I mean, you know, anything we send that video, just double it basically at that point because it makes it even better.
My Silver Sky SE. Is still the best neck I've played on any guitar I've ever played. Okay, so when I'm at home watching films, whatever, I'm always noodling with the guitar unplugged. I never pick that one up. I always pick up my Silver Sky SE to noodle with. That's my working guitar. I'm not in love with it, but it does exactly what I want it to do.
Yeah, you did say you bought it for a tool.
Exactly.
To be a gigging
but
solid
my
guitar.
PRS SE Silver Sky, the neck on it, I think it's the perfect carve.
And
this reminds me of it. It's got that lovely handful.
I was going to say, what is it? You know, I guess you know more at the gig because you might be swapping between them.
Well, I rehearsed with this for the first time yesterday. First time I've rehearsed with a band. So we did a 4-hour rehearsal. It was perfect, no issues. So it's worth pointing out on here the volume controls. There's a volume for the. This is going to confuse everybody now. So the first volume is not for that one. The first volume is for the bridge. Okay. So.
I have this.
So that's for that one. And then this volume is for the neck. It doesn't make much sense, but it was Dave Grissom's kind of, it's what he wanted, and I think it's because he spends all his time on this pickup, he's got the volume there. And it is, I must admit, that's in a spot-on place. It's really good. There's treble bleeds in there, full-size alpha pots, not CTS, but they are good pots, and the swells are excellent.
You can hear that treble bleeds kind of working well.
Doesn't just come in like. So that's a bit of an irregularity, but you could swap them over, I guess. We've got coil splits, which they reckon 75% splitted. So still a bit of bite and a bit of gain. So it doesn't.
You can hear that's not a normal coil split. It's interesting when you said about the treble bleeds when you got it the other day. I looked at the McCarthy because I assume being that they're kind of, I guess, kind of like sister releases kind of thing, that would have the treble bleeds as well, but it doesn't. So that is
very
the only
traditional sounding guitar, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But it is a nice thing to have.
You can hear it. You can hear it when you're winding back.
Really useful. Lovely back pickup. Really bitey.
To me, that is very, very. Again, I said it earlier on, familiar territory because it is bitey, like a PAF style.
And when I played this chord, you were like.
It's the right familiar sound. And bearing in mind we're playing for a Jubilee as well, so that's. If they're bitey, you're going to really know it through that amp. But that still is just like, that's a good, solid PAF kind of sounding pickup.
And the neck is quite mellow. Again, reminiscent of those old style humbuckers, PAF style. Lets you dig in. And if you split it, you still get a really respectable sound. The middle position, lovely, sweet.
That's nice.
So you get a bit of nasal quality to that from that back pickup, which is fantastic, really.
Yeah.
Really cuts through the mix.
It's almost weird to hear that sound with a trem.
Yeah, I know.
Because it is a familiar. I keep saying that word, but to me that's what it is.
It's just something about PRS trems. I just love them. You know, a Fender Strat trem is, you know, it's potluck whether you're going to be in tune at the end of the day, unless it's all singing or dancing. But PRS trems, even on the cheapest guitars, they're just fantastic.
Yeah,
they feel lovely as well.
I mean, I tend to lock mine off and forget about trems.
Yeah,
honestly.
I know. But I always make it my mission to try and get guitar to stay in tune with the trem. I think once you've done that, you know it's set up perfectly.
No, it's right, kind of thing. Yeah,
and that's to do with the nut pretty much, you know, and decent tuners obviously, and really good saddles and breaking the strings in. So I mean, it took me a while. This neck was moving for days, so I kept adjusting it.
That's just new guitar.
It's just new guitar, and it's in a different country to where it was made. So that's settled down now. It's got good relief, just a little bit of relief.
Yeah,
it's absolutely perfect now, and I'm gonna roll these edges a bit more. And again, it's just
in from now on. Kind of
for a guitar under £1,000, I think they've done an amazing job. It's a full maple cap as well on these.
Actually, yeah. Can I just have a look at the binding? Because that's one thing I didn't look at before. So that's that's the cap, right? And then
yes,
that's the natural binding. Yeah,
Which,
yeah. Don't know if you can see
would
that.
you say that's full size cap, or maybe not quite as full as a Les Paul?
I don't know. It looks pretty.
They reckon it's a full size cap.
It looks pretty thick.
Yeah.
I mean, the Carve itself is noticeably less than it.
What's nice about these new SEs is you're getting a bit of a violin carve. It's what they call a shallow one, but you've got that DNA of the core model coming.
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
There's a great video on YouTube of them comparing the core model of this to this.
Yeah.
And the one's 980, one's £4,000.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, well, hang about, you know, where's the extra money?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the carves that are on the core line definitely plays into that kind of.
But you know what? The carve on there, look, is the same as a core, and I don't like them because you get a sharp edge here. So if you put this in your playing position now, right, you get your arm there.
Because it's less deep, you mean it's less sharp.
If you play a 3-hour gig with that,
yeah.
I've got bruises there from my custom 24.
Like a Telecaster style edge.
It looks gorgeous, but actually it's not that practical.
Yeah,
Whereas this is really soft.
Yeah. Well, you've got more mass here, so the roll off is.
So you notice that now, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You really do. To be fair, yeah. I was just coming at it from a visual point of view. Like people associate those deep violin carves.
That's beautiful.
You know, as a visual thing.
But when you are using them as a tool and you're gigging with them every night,
this is the difference.
You suddenly sort of pick up the tiniest things.
Yeah,
and you think, God, that's getting on my nerves. It's a tiny bit sharp, or that carve's really hurting my arm. And it's weird. The other day, this F-hole, we were doing a gig, and all of a sudden I could feel it reverberating from the volume. So my bass, the drummer's bass drum was actually I could feel it in here, and I thought, good God, back to a solid body.
It's like a metronome.
But they're great guitars, but they are. I mean, it was their version of a Strat, I guess, at the time. They wanted a bolt-on neck, classic electric. That's why they called it that.
Yeah.
And they are brighter than a core model.
Yeah.
Even with the same pickups in, they are much brighter.
I think, just quickly, before I do have a go on that guitar, maybe we'll bounce between them, but I just wanted to come back to that point about price earlier. So, do you think that guitar will follow the same way as the SE price-wise, that you'll be able to get them a bit cheaper? And if so, basically, do you think they're good value where they are anyway? Like we did with the SE, because they're now incredible.
Are we talking about these?
Sorry, the DGT.
The DGT.
So obviously that's its new price.
Yeah, so SEs have now gone to around about £1,000, haven't they?
Yeah.
But the improvements they made on them, to me now, like the only SE I've owned before was a Bernie Marsden SE, and that was £600 at the time, a few years ago now.
Yeah.
It was a good guitar. It was exceptionally heavy. I didn't like the pickups in it. There was a few things. The way I can see SEs going now is there's literally no reason to buy a core anymore. So you've got SEs, which the new generation have got excellent pickups. The hardware's all now good stuff. Well, the neck's incredible on here. You get decent kit. The next one up is then a S2.
Yeah.
I've owned an S2.
Yeah. I've had one for a while as well.
This reminds me of that S2. So I bought a first generation S2, and this is where this quality is at now.
Yeah.
Okay, and S2s were really popular at the time because you could get American assembled guitar for a reasonable price at the time. S2s now cost the same as a core model did when I bought my core model.
It's mad, isn't it?
So the CE, there's some great deals on these at the moment if you're not bothered about the colour. you can get one of these for about 1,600 brand new, and these
Yeah.
are American made full fat PRS guitars.
Yeah.
They're just a bit cheaper because you haven't got the set through neck,
Yeah.
and the bridge isn't the brass saddles that you'd get on the core.
Some of it is the SE hardware.
And you haven't got this recess here, same as this. So on a core,
Yeah,
you get the recess. But other than that, it's set up brilliantly out of the box. Really excellent guitars.
Yeah.
So for my money, if you can get a CE for that £1,600 mark, I think you should, because these retail at about 2,500 now.
That to me, as an Eastman fan, is crazy.
It is crazy.
But it is
S2s,
guitars, so.
you don't even get the American pickups with S2s, or do you? I'm not sure
off the
you
top of my
do.
head, to be fair.
Because with
Can't remember what
S2s,
mine
it
was
was
like.
always the Korean hardware from an SE, but it was made in America.
Right.
So you had the American build quality, but with the imported pickups and bridge and parts. But they're good guitars, but the thing is now with these latest SEs, yes, I had to do some work to this, which still bugs me now.
And to be fair, that's going to be hit or miss for people in general.
Yeah,
It's just,
I could have sent it back, to be fair.
yeah,
you know,
but it is worth saying, because you could easily be forgiven into thinking that every single one will be exactly like, some YouTube video.
But PRS marketing was always, Paul checks every other guitar on the line and make sure. Reality is now you can't keep check of QC in different countries,
especially when you got a guitar that people have already paid for before it's made, like these at the moment.
And these are, the first batch of these sold out really quickly.
That's what I mean.
I managed to get one, and it does make you wonder if they're just trying to get them out at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And things like with the Eastmans you mentioned, the newer batch the quality is dipping a bit.
It's a concern. I mean, people would have seen my issues with my recent one, so yeah, it does creep in as a concern, to be fair.
And what concerns me is someone would have got this out of the box and that they wouldn't necessarily know why, but they're not enjoying playing it, and the nut is so important.
And then it becomes the DGT isn't that good,
and it stays in the corner of the room while they've sold it. But now this is I've owned a core model. This is as good as a core model. You know, the biggest test for me, does it stay in tune like a core? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
How's that neck feel? Wow, this neck is amazing. I love this neck.
Yeah.
And it's under £1,000, and I'm thinking, well, actually, you could get the bird inlay version of this, which costs more.
Yeah, I prefer the gold.
Yeah,
like that's one thing as well. Like
plain top, but it's a veneer.
It's just same as like their normal SE ranges and stuff.
Yeah.
Like for me, I love a gold top, and there's so many brands that do offer it as a choice. But very rare is the gold the right colour.
It's beautiful.
And that is the right colour, to be fair. I'd probably change the colour of the knobs myself. I did say to you before. I think they look better gold or clear myself.
No, I'm not convinced on that one.
But,
the reason I like this amber colour, you see, is because you can't probably see that. The back of this is like a thin coat, and you can see a red amber type.
It is. I agree. I don't know. I'd have to. It might be one of the things where I did it.
I was horrified when you said that. I couldn't believe it.
I'll tell you what it is as well. I saw a guy on Instagram or something, and he had one of these, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and he did change the knobs, and I thought, wow, that looks really good. So that stuck in my head. They were clear.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I saw the golds and thought maybe the golds would look better. It'd be one of them things, you know, it's like you start playing with stuff, and then you're like, oh, bollocks, I'm like, I should have put it how it was before. But these have got clears. And it's black on the back.
Yeah, I know.
It's all done.
I know.
Carve's got 3.
I am one for changing stuff, but
we know.
I don't know. There was something about that combination. I just love it. And, the moon inlays, it's hard to see from it, but they are lovely. Just for a change.
Yeah, they do look good.
It is nice.
Yeah. We got a lot of dance in it as well.
Yeah. I think this is. I honestly think now the SEs are above anything else now. I think they're absolutely fantastic guitars.
Yeah.
And if you see one on offer now on a deal, you'd be stupid not to get one now.
For sure.
If you're in the market for a guitar that you can. They are professional guitars now. There's no doubt about that. I can gig with this. You could take this to the studio. The pickups are amazing.
Yeah.
There's no reason to buy a core model anymore.
Yeah.
Literally no reason.
Outside of what visually appeals to you, kind of thing.
Yeah, obviously there's the flame tops, the library tops. But I mean, if you're going to use it at a pub every night, would you?
You're a brave man if you take it.
Well, look at that. Can you see that one there?
Yeah.
Pretty nasty.
A little bit of a dink there from a bump in the wall somewhere.
So I can see what's going to happen. I'll probably use this as my gigging guitar now, and that'll be my backup.
Yeah. I do think the neck on that, going back and forth with the more traditional neck on the Silver Sky, will feel much nicer than the wide thin on this. Just
that's
going
going to be a for sale suit.
Well,
do you know what I've got my eye on is that when this came, a whole new line of SEs came out, and I just thought, God, they look good. And I saw the reviews, and it's like, wow. And and it is that McCarthy one. Now, is it the 245?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, God, that looks nice.
Yeah, but that's got double coil splitting and
brass
saddles as well. Yeah, and the modern QC that you're talking about.
And it's what, same price as this, and you just think,
yeah.
Why would you need anything else now? So
it's pretty damn good. Right, I think me and you will swap places. So there'll be a little cat here, and then I will be in that seat. All right then. So we've swapped places, and now I have the DGT in familiar ground. So when I tried this at the guitar show, I thought I've got the volume wrong there.
You'll get used to it.
Yeah. I thought in my hand, bearing in mind it's at a guitar show, right? So your sensors all over the place. And I was trying the new McCarthy right next to it, but I thought it felt quite wide. I love the Carve. Straight away, that to me, it's like my Eastman, it's like a nice Gibson, familiar, happy days. That's brilliant. Especially after just holding that for 20 minutes. It just feels
so
right.
thin.
Yeah. But I've got to admit, this being in my hand now, first time, that doesn't feel too wide at all.
Steady on. If we should have a G chord with this one.
Go on, unplug it, and I'll do it quick. It's not really. I'm not really trying to compare them, but
no, but it's just interesting,
Expect
to
a
see what
brighter sound now with this one, I'm guessing. Hotter.
Hotter as well.
Yeah, you can tell that's hotter, but straight away that's brighter.
Hotter and brighter. So it's just to say you do get that vintage vibe with this guitar. So if you're after something really hot,
Well, didn't you say that the DGT was based roughly off his old Gibsons anyway?
Yes. I did a lot of research before I bought it, and I'd heard and read that Dave Grissom's old 335. This was the neck carve from that.
Yeah.
So this is what he wanted, something familiar.
But his pickups, as well, are going to be based on PAF style.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you can hear that. Just there, in the room especially.
I hope it comes out in camera.
Yeah, I've purposely not done any fancy miking today because I just wanted to capture something a bit more natural, we in the room kind of thing.
You couldn't be bothered, I think that's what it was.
Well, it's pretty warm today. But no, I'm serious. I didn't want to dress it up too much. This is two guys that like guitars and try to get an honest sound of, across kind of thing.
Absolutely. Oh man.
That sounds great, doesn't it?
It sounds great listening to someone else play it.
I love that G chord on it.
Just play G's first.
That's great.
Yeah.
The split is subtle, like I noticed earlier on when you did it. It's almost more P90 humbucker rather than humbucker split.
It just takes a little bit of the gain off.
Let's go to that now. That's a great sound in the middle. I suppose I should try and clean it up a bit, shouldn't I, as well?
Clean it up.
There you go again, then.
Well, you got treble bleeding, just do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does roll off real nice. That bridge, it has got an old-fashioned brightness, but it's definitely not picky at all. I'm really struggling with them volumes. I have to admit. It is the first time I've tried that game. It's just that neck, it really is comfy.
You can really dig into it.
It's quite quacky on the neck as well. Like it's got something. It's character.
Yeah. It's what I would say is nasal.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm trying to say.
It's a lovely quality actually. It doesn't sound like it should be, but it is.
tell you what else I'm hearing as well. I don't think that will come across it. There's something I always try and listen out for in pickups, which is like kind of a double note in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that in these pickups.
Harmonic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Should
really
mention
nice.
they're quite jumbo frets on that.
Well, I like that as well, to be fair. What's the radius on this one? 10 still, like a normal.
Yeah, it should be 10. Yeah.
I'm liking that neck a lot.
Feels flatter though, John.
That neck's really nice. Just gonna get a bit of dry back on. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that, to be fair.
It doesn't feel like well, I mean, SE was always student edition, entry level, but it doesn't feel like that.
No, and the thing is, well, is that having that, I keep coming back to the neck carve, but I think for me, because again, I wrote PRS off for such a long time, because I didn't know how many different neck carves it did, but now you can get this in the SE lineup with the neck like that.
Crazy, isn't it?
I just think that's great.
And the quality of those pickups, I mean,
Yeah.
don't let that
I like
SE
the fact-
put you off.
Yeah, what I like though with it is that these pickups are clearly distinct from that. They're clearly distinct from other SEs I've had on the channel before. And
I've had about 6 PRSs and they're nothing like anything I've played
Yeah.
before. They've spent a hell of a lot of time voicing these.
great nice sustain on it as well. Plays really nice.
Yeah.
I am dead impressed with it. I really am. And like I said, you know, if you're going to buy a guitar like this because you want the DGT pickups that you've heard in the core for so long, the fact that these are distinctly different, and I'm imagining pretty damn close.
I mean, these are the S pickups, which means that they're the foreign made ones, but to be honest, there is a slight difference between these and the core model ones, but it's nothing that a slight adjustment to your EQ wouldn't match it anyway.
For sure.
But they've got the character,
and
that's what you want from these pickups.
100%.
When you look at how long they spent developing this particular guitar, you know, so much effort went into it.
And judging on the whole David Grissom thing, I mean, he's pretty, a bit like John Mayer, I suppose. He's pretty hot on what he expects to have.
Fussy over a sound,
I like the string separation as well. I forgot what that is. Good separation across it. I like it. Well, thanks for bringing it over, because it's nice to be able to try it in sort of familiar ground, if you like.
Yeah.
And
can we mention the weight as well?
yes, good point. So obviously I was sat there with that just now
Semi-hollow
and played it in the intro, and I said, I think earlier in the video, it's not particularly heavy. You don't think that's a heavy guitar.
No.
But it is semi-hollow,
Yeah.
so then you would expect to pick this up and feel it's heavier. It's not at all.
It's lighter than
It's
this.
lighter.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, I mean,
It's
it
still
feels,
balanced.
yeah, really nicely balanced.
Yeah.
So if you are after a very traditional sounding and feeling guitar, but like you said, with some differences, the trem, you know, maybe it's more stable tuning wise, stuff like that, and also not super heavy, you know.
Yeah, and then people don't realise, you know, forget about the Les Paul weight. You know, if you're playing a gig with that, you feel it. At the end of the night, you feel it.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you want similar tones, you know, I mean, seems to be doing the job.
Yeah.
It's I've been very impressed with it.
Yeah, in fairness, I kind of had pretty good expectations from it, and having spent a bit of time with it, you know, now off camera as well, it's absolutely exactly as good as I kind of wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because the DGT in general is the PRS that speaks to me the most in terms
absolutely.
of the sound, the story, and now there's the SE one, and it's this good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've got the gold right. It is the gold I'd have as well. I know they do the flame top like you said, but
And you can get issues with any new guitar. I mean, I've had custom fenders, custom shop ones with frets that have been dinged.
Yeah, exactly.
It can happen to any, and I think this one just got overlooked on the QC.
Yeah, they're trying to rush them out at this point in time.
They just stuck the nut on it, and for whoever the guy was who was supposed to slot it or whatever, it didn't get to him or her.
Yeah, a bad day.
Yeah, bad day, yeah.
But I mean, it's no different to my Eastman though. When I got that was brand new.
Yeah.
And that needed a nut repair from day one. Coming through the shops and everything else.
To be honest, with a lot of the guitars I've owned, I've automatically put a Graphtec tusk nut on anyway, because I just know they are so stable with training.
And I guess because these are black and stuff stock anyway.
Yeah.
You haven't changed the visual.
No, it's exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And these, come out the packaging all nice and rounded and.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are good, and they
they're fantastic.
It's excellent.
So,
I think we'll swap guitars back just so we can hear a bit more of this with you playing it, and we'll play you out. So thank you very much for watching, and maybe you can bring it back when he's got a few gigs under his belt, and sort of revisit it. We did that with the PRS.
Great idea. Yeah, brilliant idea. Yeah.
Right then, I will see you for another video very soon. That should be the ending.
Yeah. That's quite